Imagine a dish that melts in your mouth, brimming with flavors of the sea, herbs, and a hint of citrus. Picture a succulent pan-seared fish, its golden crust giving way to tender, flaky flesh. Imagine it bathed in a zesty herbed butter sauce, each bite a symphony of taste. And to complement this, a side of fluffy, aromatic rice, a perfect partner to our star attraction. This is no ordinary fare, my friends. This is not just a meal, it's a culinary journey waiting to be embarked upon. To start this adventure, gather all the necessary ingredients. You'll need a fresh fillet of your favorite fish. Salmon, cod, or even tilapia would work. Besides the star of the show, you'll require some fresh herbs. Think rosemary, thyme, or dill. The aroma they bring is simply irresistible. We can't forget about butter. It's what gives our dish that luxurious, velvety texture. Then there's the zesty punch of lemon. It adds a refreshing note that cuts through the richness. And finally, we have the humble rice, the perfect accompaniment to our fish. Now, if you're vegan or lactose intolerant, don't you worry. You can easily substitute the butter with a plant-based alternative. Those on a low-carb diet can swap the rice with cauliflower rice. And for those who can't find fresh herbs, dried herbs will do just fine. With everything ready, we can now dive into the cooking process. First, we will focus on our star ingredient, the fish. The key to a mouth-watering fish dish lies in its preparation. Let's dive into it, shall we? To start, we'll need to clean our fish thoroughly. This is a crucial step in ensuring that we get rid of any unwanted smell or taste. You might want to pay special attention to the belly, where most of the impurities are likely to be. Now, running it under cold water should do the trick. Next up, choosing fresh fish. Here's a tip to keep in mind. Fresh fish typically has clear, bright eyes, and its scales are intact and shimmering. And when you press it, the flesh should spring back. Dull eyes, discolored patches, or a strong fishy smell are all red flags. So, remember to be vigilant when selecting your fish. Once our fish is clean, it's time to season it. But before we do that, let's talk about the importance of patting the fish dry. You see, moisture is the enemy of a good sear. So, after cleaning our fish, we'll pat it dry using a paper towel. This will help us achieve that crispy, golden brown crust we all love. Now, let's move on to seasoning. Simple is often best when it comes to fish. A sprinkle of salt and pepper should suffice. However, feel free to get creative. A dash of paprika or a hint of lemon zest could add a delightful twist to your dish. Remember, the goal here is to enhance the natural flavor of the fish, not overpower it. So, use a light hand with your seasonings. Lastly, let's let our fish rest for a bit. This allows the seasonings to penetrate the flesh, ensuring that our fish is flavorful through and through. With our fish perfectly prepped, it's time to move on to the next step. Trust me, your taste buds are in for a real treat. Now, we will master the art of pan-searing to get that golden, crispy skin. To start, we need a hot pan. Not just warm, but hot enough that water droplets dance across its surface. This ensures the fish doesn't stick and gives us the right conditions for that beautiful sear. But remember, too hot and it will burn, so find that sweet spot. Next, we lay our fish in the pan, skin side down. Hear that sizzle? That's the sound of deliciousness beginning. Now here's a key point. Don't move the fish. It may be tempting to nudge it, to peek beneath and check the progress. Resist the urge. Patience is a virtue in the kitchen, and it's particularly important here. If we move the fish too soon, we risk tearing the skin, losing that wonderful crispiness we're aiming for. While our fish sizzles away, let's talk about heat control. It's not just a set and forget scenario. We need to be attentive, adjusting the heat as necessary. If the fish is browning too quickly, turn it down a smidge. If it's not sizzling happily, turn it up a touch. Keep an eye on it, be responsive. Now, how do we know when it's time to flip? You'll notice the color creeping up the sides of the fish. When it's about 2/3 of the way, that's our cue. With a confident, swift motion, flip the fish. You'll see that gorgeous golden crust we've achieved, all thanks to the art of pan-searing. Once flipped, it's a much shorter cook on the flesh side. We're just looking to cook it through, and then we're done. Lift the fish from the pan and let it rest. Resting is crucial. It allows the juices to redistribute, making our fish wonderfully moist. So, there we have it, the art of pan-searing. It takes a little practice, a dash of patience, and a sprinkle of attentiveness, but the result is oh so worth it. As our fish rests, we will prepare the tantalizing sauce that will elevate this dish. Now, let's create a sauce that's a symphony of flavors. Our herbed butter sauce is a simple yet delicious addition to our fish. It's all about balance and harmony in the blend. We begin by melting some butter over low heat. We're looking for a gentle melt, not a hot sizzle. This is the canvas upon which we'll paint our aromatic masterpiece. As the butter reaches a liquid gold consistency, we introduce our herbs. I'm using a combination of finely chopped parsley, thyme, and dill. But feel free to experiment with your favorite herbs. The key here is freshness. Dried herbs can work in a pinch, but fresh herbs bring a vibrancy that's hard to match. Stir them into the butter, allowing their natural oils to infuse into the mix. Next, we add the juice of a lemon. The citrusy tang of the lemon cuts through the richness of the butter, creating a delightful contrast. It's like a splash of sunshine in our sauce. But remember, balance is crucial. Too much lemon and we risk overpowering the herbs. Too little, and our sauce may become overly rich. Now let's talk about seasoning. A pinch of salt and a grind of black pepper might seem like small players in our herbed butter sauce, but they're instrumental in amplifying the flavors. Season to taste, but remember, we can always add more later, so start with a light hand. Once everything is combined, let's give our sauce a gentle simmer. This helps to meld the flavors together, creating a unified sauce rather than a disjointed mix of individual ingredients. Keep an eye on the heat though. We want to coax the flavors out, not scorch them. And there we have it, a herbed butter sauce, with a delicate balance of flavors that will elevate our fish from simply delicious to truly extraordinary. With our sauce ready, let's move on to the final component of our dish. Rice might seem simple, but cooking it perfectly can be an art. In the grand tapestry of culinary pursuits, it's akin to mastering a fundamental brushstroke, a foundation upon which many a masterpiece is built. Let's delve into the world of rice. There's a myriad of types to choose from, each with its own unique characteristics. For our dish today, we'll use basmati rice, renowned for its long, slender grains and distinct aroma. However, feel free to experiment with other types such as jasmine or arborio, depending on your personal preference or the dish you're pairing it with. Now, onto the cooking process. The key to fluffy, aromatic rice lies in the water-to-rice ratio. A common rule of thumb is a 2-to-1 ratio, 2 cups of water for every cup of rice. However, with basmati, we'll dial it back a notch to 1.5 cups of water. This ensures the grains cook evenly, without becoming too mushy or sticking together. Begin by rinsing your rice under cool water until the water runs clear. This helps to remove any excess starch and prevents the grains from clumping together. Then, place your rice and water in a pot. Bring it to a boil, then reduce the heat to low, cover the pot, and let it simmer. Resist the urge to peek or stir the rice. This is a crucial step in achieving that perfect, fluffy texture. After about 15 to 20 minutes, your rice should be ready. Remove it from the heat and let it sit, still covered, for about 5 minutes. This allows the remaining steam to finish off the cooking process and helps to separate the grains. Finally, fluff your rice gently with a fork to separate the grains further and release the trapped steam. And there you have it, beautifully cooked, aromatic rice, the perfect accompaniment to our fish dish. Remember, mastering the art of cooking rice is all about patience and precision. With our rice ready, it's time to plate our dish. The final step is to plate our dish, because we eat with our eyes first. The art of plating is about balance. It's about combining colors, textures, and flavors in a way that is pleasing to the eye and the taste buds. Let's start with the plate itself. Opt for a large white plate, the perfect canvas for our culinary masterpiece. Now envision the plate as a clock. The protein, our beautifully pan-seared fish, should sit between 6 and 9. Gently place the fish, ensuring the most visually appealing side is facing up. Next, our rice. It should be placed between 9 and 12, forming a delightful contrast with the fish. Use a cup or a mold to give your rice a defined, pleasing shape. Then gently remove the mold. Voila! A neat mound of rice that adds height and dimension to the dish. Now for the sauce. This is where we can really get creative. Instead of just pouring it over the fish, why not try drizzling it around the plate? Or if you're feeling particularly artistic, use a spoon to create a series of dots or a swirl. The herbed butter sauce, with its vibrant green color, will add a pop of color and a burst of flavor to the dish. Lastly, let's not forget about garnish. A sprig of fresh herbs, a wedge of lemon, or a sprinkle of freshly cracked black pepper can add the final touch. But remember, less is more. The key is to enhance the dish, not overpower it. Remember, the goal is to create a dish that's as beautiful as it is delicious. So take your time, have fun with it, and don't be afraid to experiment. Every plate is a new opportunity to express your creativity and show off your culinary skills. And there you have it, a restaurant-quality fish dish right in your own kitchen. Let's take a moment to reflect on the culinary journey we just embarked upon. We started off with a humble fish, transforming it into a mouth-watering meal through a series of steps. First, we prepared the fish, ensuring it was cleaned and ready for cooking. We then moved on to the art of pan-searing, a technique that gives the fish a delightful crispy skin while maintaining a tender interior. We didn't stop there, though. We crafted a divine herbed butter sauce, a blend of aromatic herbs and creamy butter that added richness to our dish. Then, we cooked the perfect rice, fluffy and aromatic, to accompany our fish. Finally, we took time to plate our dish, paying attention to presentation because we eat with our eyes first. Throughout our journey, we shared a few key tips. Remember to control your heat when pan-searing, and don't forget to baste your fish with that beautiful herbed butter sauce. And when it comes to rice, patience is key. Now, it's your turn to recreate this dish. Don't hesitate to customize the recipe to your liking. Add a dash of your favorite spice to the sauce, or serve the fish over a bed of your favorite grains. Cooking is not just about following a recipe, it's about making it your own. Remember, cooking is an adventure. Don't be afraid to experiment and, most importantly, enjoy the process.